Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you so much for joining once again another episode here on the Life Signatures Radio. We have been talking about raising street smart children, and it's been quite a journey that we are now beginning to wind up this journey. This podcast is about purpose, productivity, and resilience, and we normally discuss this every working day. You can always find an episode going on, and so I want you to join in. If this is the first time they're listening to this episode, just joining and listen up. If you're a parent, this is for you. If you're a student, also this is for you. And if you're an educator, this is also for you. We're talking about raising street smart children. If you're a policy maker in the government of the day, this is also for you. There's some things that we need to change. And so today we're going to look at the seventh pillar of raising street smart children. This is a very interesting pillar that I've talked about very many times in this podcast. And so today we're just going to look at it once more. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
At that note, let's just take a recap here and see where we've come from all along, even as we've been talking about raising street smart children. What are the 8 pillars? Pillar number 1, we talked about survival. Pillar number 2, we talked about relationships. Pillar number 3, we talked about purpose and potential. And pillar number 4 was ravenous hunger for knowledge. Number 5, being adept at making connections with what they have. And then number 6 has been about entrepreneurship. Very important. Listen, these things, I've gone deep into them. If you really wanted to get the gist of what I've shared, you can go back the past 12 or so episodes and just go one by one if this is the first time you're listening to this. But today we are going to go on to pillar number 7. This is absolutely critical. If we're raising street smart children, number 7, we've got to have the pillar of personal branding. Whenever that phrase is mentioned, people normally think about belts, suits, ties, jackets, sneakers, and smiles and makeup and nail polish and lipsticks and all that stuff. They think about fonts, they think about graphics, they think about colors, they think about websites and so on and so forth. We have to get out of that thought pattern very fast. Because in raising street smart children, personal branding is at the center of it all. It is at the core of it all. Because what is a brand? A brand is something that you present in this world for the solutions that you're offering. You're known by your brand. You're known by the value that you offer. Think about that. You're known by the brand that you offer. Now the thing is that you cannot wait until you graduate to get a brand. The graduation should just be an addition to an already established brand, which is in the process of being built up. When you get a job, you add on that particular brand. When you get experience, you add on that particular brand. When you get a project and you complete the project, you add on that particular brand. When you exceed some expectations, you add on that particular brand. You don't wait until you graduate to start building a brand. This is a mistake we're making. This is a mistake we're making with our children. And I know, by the way, we normally think that these kids, they know nothing, they don't know what they want to do in life, so let us wait until they are adults. No, they do know what they want. There's a semblance of what they want. Of course, it cannot be everything. Even as they grow, it continues narrowing and narrowing and narrowing, which means they've got to start from a place. Of course, your child will tell you today, I want to be a doctor. Tomorrow they'll say, oh, I want to be a teacher. And another time they'll say, I want to be a chef. Because of the experiences they're going through at that moment in time, they keep changing. But you're going to gauge them. If you've been following these episodes, you're going to gauge them by the fruits, the gifts, the talent, and the potential that they possess inside of them. These gifts and this potential are what are causing them to be who they are, and therefore a brand can be formulated therein. But even if they are not so sure about who they are going to be, it doesn't negate the fact that at least a principle should be shared about how to craft a brand for themselves. Because personal branding helps you to focus on problem solving, which we've talked about, and value addition, which we've also talked about. It helps you in creating these things that you're supposed to create to move forward and add value into this world. So in creating a personal brand, you know that you have a solution that you're providing. You actually are a solution provider. A personal brand positions you as a hero, and also helps you to identify a particular villain, and helps you to identify people that you're supposed to quote unquote deliver. That's what humanity is all about. There are heroes and villains, and then there are people who are supposed to be delivered. In business, who is the hero? Let's say Steve Jobs. Who is the villain? An analog whatever, or big time machines, right, that are only serving big time organizations. What is the solution? I mean, who are the people who are going to be delivered? The common people in homes, so that they can have personal computers. That's a brand right there. Voila. So you get what I'm saying? Those are the parameters. So as you're raising your child, let them position themselves as a hero for something. You can even use these heroes that you have on TV and so on to give the analogy that they can also be a hero for something. What is it that they hate, and what solution do they have for whatever it is that they are hating? Or what is it that they like actually, and what value it is that they are offering for whatever they like, and to whom are these things benefiting? That's a brand. And so they start identifying themselves that way. They start seeing themselves that way. My son right now, he is kind of putting me under pressure because he plays bass guitar. He's putting me under pressure to print for him a t-shirt that has a guitar pick, or it has a photo of a bass guitar, and so on and so forth. And so I asked him last Sunday, what do you want to call your company? If you're going to form a studio, we're going to call a company. He said something Reef, I can't remember, Reef something. All right, and now that is branding. He now wants to create a logo for himself, and this logo is not just a logo coming from nowhere. It is a logo connected to whatever it is that he wants to do. And this can be something that all of us can be able to do. And as many children as are being raised, at the earliest opportunity, let them have a brand. Let them start thinking about, I am a brand. I solve problems. I'm a solution provider for this and this and this. So in creating a personal brand, you know that you're a solution provider, you're a hero, you're a deliverer. You cannot be all that you want to be, as in you cannot be everything to everyone, like the Apostle Paul said, I'm everything to everyone, so that by all means I can be able to save some. Listen, you don't have 200 years to practice being a driver, a cook, a doctor, a scientist, an artist, a bank teller, a computer programmer. You don't have 200 years to do everything. You've got to narrow down, and that's where a brand comes in. You cannot be all to everything to everyone. You cannot have a personal brand if you are not passionate about some few things. Personal branding is about value delivery. If you wanted to see a street smart person, you are looking at someone who is focused on delivering value to a specific niche or specific niches. In doing so, they are increasingly becoming an expert in that particular area. Think about this. The earlier your son or your daughter starts, the much more they're getting this much needed experience and much needed expertise, so that they can position themselves as experts. Because this world, like I told you in the previous episodes, this world needs experts more than anything else. It needs experts. This world needs experts, and I'm going to come back to that shortly. They are earning the trust when they start early. They are earning the trust that they are increasing this finesse that they have. And to be street smart is not to meddle at everything and anything that comes your way because you want to make a buck. And I know we need to balance. I know there's a place for doing things that we hate. There's a place for doing things that we're not called to do so that we can be able to make a quick buck, or maybe to make a connection, or maybe make experience and so on, and move on to our own personal brand. We don't stay there. It's not our destiny. Personal branding, therefore, helps a person to identify themselves, to identify their audience, to identify also their villain or their enemies. Like I've mentioned, and a villain is not necessarily a person. It could be a thing. It could be culture itself. It could be anything that causes trouble to your audience. Anything that you want to annihilate. Anything that you don't like. It's not necessarily a person. So in learning to be street smart, a personal brand becomes in hand in a very, very mighty way. It is possible to have or to create a personal brand without necessarily being book smart. It is possible, and it's possible to be book smart without a personal brand. Are you getting what I'm saying? A lot of people with great talent have done that. They have created special talent and special personal brands. And however, it is possible to create a stellar personal brand when you are book smart. You can add your book smartness, like I've just said earlier on. When the graduation comes, when the job comes, you add on to an already existing personal brand. Being book smart is an advantage in that you have skills that you've acquired and they are certified and you are qualified and you have academic papers to show you are an expert in that particular area. And in this day and in this age, the world is no longer operating just on book smartness. It is operating on the need for personal brands. People are being hired because of their personal brands increasingly. In fact, people are being given short-term contracts, what we call the gig economy, because of their personal brands, not being given long-term contracts and jobs which have retirement and pension. It is book smart. It is street smart and personal branding that is going hand in hand in the gig economy, which is increasing and increasing and increasing day by day. It is about packaging yourself, and therefore, once you've acquired your necessary academic certificates, it is time to learn to become street smart. And one of the ways to do that is to create a compelling personal brand where people believe and trust that you are the expert. You've separated yourself for this particular thing. And in summary, a street smart person knows themselves, knows their audience, knows their villain, and goes after that villain with so much passion in order to deliver their audience, and in turn they get rewarded for being a hero. That's what we need, and we don't need to wait until we are 21 years of age and all that stuff. It starts as early as possible, and we continue that way. So we're going to continue talking about these things in the episode tomorrow, but until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.